Hey YouTube, this is Prometheus, guys, giving you more to the meta. So guys, I want to be showing you two series breakdowns of two offensive series of me using my Browns Cardinals playbook breakdown. This is going to be a brand new ebook that I'm going to have on my Patreon website. It's going to be up probably by the end of the week, and I'm also going to be adding, I've got a ton of formations I got to break down, documenting these stuffs and creating this into an actual ebook, so you've got a document to look at. It takes a long time. It's a lot harder. It's just really tedious opposed to just recording videos and labbing. So I will have this broken down. I already have an ebook set up from my Eagles playbook. So if you guys have seen, I do have that set up. In the next couple of videos, I'll actually show you basically a couple more breakdowns of how this ebook looks. But guys, I want to give a shout out to a couple of recent comments that I received. Once again, from MLC808 commented, staple play for several years, great breakdown. This is more than meta type series that I've got going on. This is a Y sail play where I've got basically a whip dig route and a sail concept off to the far side. Waski Posky basically commented, hey man, I've been watching you since Madden 18. You taught me everything I need to know when it comes to blitzing. How can I invest and learn all the secrets? Well, I basically have Patreon guys that you can go to access more in-depth breakdowns of how I run my offenses and stuff like that, and also some of you'll get access to my defensive breakdowns in advance. But I would have to say more than anything else is that you guys need to be a student of the game. There is a YouTube channel that I have to highlight. This is a brand new YouTube channel that's been around for a couple of years, but he's slowly growing. But this guy's YouTube channel should blow up just because he uses a lot of NFL concepts. So this is going to be Zando Football. I'm going to go ahead and put a link down in the description below where you can click on his YouTube channel. Check out this guy's content. If you like my content, you're definitely going to like Zando Football. This is basically unsolicited. I just really appreciate his work. I'm a fan of his work. I learned stuff from him, and I figured I'm going to share some stuff I learned from him and also share some stuff that I've learned on my own. So go ahead and make sure you take a look at Zando Football, and if you do go ahead and subscribe, let him know I sent you his way. So I really appreciate that. So let's go ahead and talk about basically this scheme. This is going to be, once again, the Browns cards playbook that we're going to be taking a look at. When I actually call my formation, I always go ahead and call a run play out of the very beginning, and then I take a look at the safeties to kind of determine what I'm looking at. Now, you can see these two high safeties. NFL concept, when it comes to an NFL concept, basically this is the middle of the field is going to be open. All right, so basically it means the safeties are playing near the hash marks, but it's going to leave a space in the middle of the field wide open. So what does this mean when you run into this type of a coverage? Well, first and foremost, might be running against a cover 2 shell zone type coverage. Also, you might be actually going ahead and running against some type of basically a cover 2 man coverage, or some type of cover 4 zone, or another zone you'll be looking at is going to be basically cover 6. But you got to realize that when you're actually running these type of coverages, the middle of the field's wide open. You want to be able to attack that. Now, typically in these type of situations, what I like to do is essentially just go ahead and run the ball, just see what type of a coverage my opponent is going to be using against me. So I think it's just stick with the standard stretch, cut that back in, get some really good blocking right there. I'm able to go and pick up a first time in that type of situation. And let's take a look at the play art. So he's running cover 6, so that's one of those coverages that we can expect to see if we're doing this. Now let's take a look at this. We're actually in a situation where the middle of the field is closed. So what this means is that you got a single high safety. He's lurking over the middle of the field. I notice in this Madden now, single high safeties sometimes react to post routes a little bit better, but basically that single high safety is supposed to react to deep ends, digs, and he's in better position than if you have the open of the field. So what type of coverages can you expect to see in this type of a situation? Well, first and foremost, you're probably going to see some type of a cover 3. It could be sky, it could be seam, but it's going to be some type of a cover 3 coverage. Or another thing you're going to see is going to be a cover 1 type of a coverage where basically you're going to have a single high safety. So for some particular reason my art is not showing up on that, but let's just keep moving along with it. So that's how you're going to read the coverages, and we're going to keep coming back to that just to go ahead and just help us make determinations and make better reads with our coverage. So single high safety. I think what I do is I might have stayed with around. No, actually, what I did in this type of situation is I jumped into, I think a seam play in this. I went into this particular play, which essentially is Y sail, and basically I'm going to be looking to this route 1, this is my 2, 3, and then 4. Those are my read progressions. I always look to the whip first because it's an easy progression. You get rid of the ball quick. It mitigates any kind of pressure. This defender slides out, meaning he might come down and bite down to that play. So I'm going to be going ahead and looking to the next area, which is going to be the 2. And his defensive player is kind of out of position. And you can see right there, I threw it right in front of him. I get a really good rack catch and get the ball down to the 30-yard line or so. So a 40-yard gainer right there. So once again, we're taking a look at the coverages, and we see the middle of the field is open. So that means we can attack inside the seams, are kind of like the areas that you can do. The middle of the field, the post should be wide open. So let's just go ahead and run this particular play. Just going to go ahead and run the ball right here. Get some pretty good cutback blocking right there with Swift. Broken tackle in that situation. Get the ball down to the 8-yard line. So working pretty well against my opponent with the coverage. And actually you can see he was in a cover 1 robber press. Now this is a disguised coverage. And it will throw your opponent off guard. But I would say that if you're going to run a coverage like this, a cover 1 press, you want to hold on to this until a little bit later into the game, to see if your opponent actually can pick up on if your opponent if you can bait him into a bad place. In other words, if he's throwing stuff over the middle, you want to throw a cover 1 press to see if you can bait him into a bad place. So that's something you want to go ahead and hold on to as far as the coverage that you want to use a little bit later. So right here we got another situation where the middle of the field is open. So we want to go ahead and use our cover 2 beaters or cover 4 beaters type situation. I'm going to run the ball just because I've really got a good offensive line. I think I flip it to the strong side because I've got some pretty good blockers right there. Take a wrong angle. I probably could have got it closer to the 1-yard line with that type of situation. But you could see because it's middle of the field open, it was a cover 2 contain. So that's, those are the reads. Now take a look at this. Once again, this is basically the middle of the field's closed. So the probability is this is going to be either some type of a cover 3 or basically a cover 1. So we'll make our reads and progressions from there. I'm going to go ahead and jump into this particular play, which essentially is a money play I like to use against a lot of people that use a lot of man coverage. This is my first read. This is going to be my second read. And my third read is going to be this. And then the running back is going to be my fourth read. This clear out route is a clear out route. I could alert it, but really I'm not looking to that. It's just pushing defenders out of way. So he actually shades, I think, to the outside, but I'm able to go ahead. I've got this area wide open, but I've also got this area wide open because he's playing man coverage and he's chasing this route. So I'm going to just go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and throw past him because he's out of position. So able to getting a touchdown, that type of situation, make very fast and easy progressions. Now we're going to jump into a series that's going to be a little bit longer. This is going to be going against a Green Bay Packers player. Once again, you can see the middle of the field is closed, so that means that single high safety is lurking in that type of situation. So you want to have your cover 1 and cover 2, cover 3 beaters as far as your coverage. Let's see. I actually tried to attack him with cover 3, and this guy actually had pretty good user over the middle of the field. So here's my play concept. I'm actually going ahead and using a streak, and I've got a deep comeback route. My first read is going to be the streak, and then the comeback route is 2. What I'm going to do with this particular scheme is I'm going to, instead of leaving this guy stock, I'm going to take this guy and actually drag him because that's going to give me a faster read. And you're going to see why in this gameplay on how I almost got picked off a couple different times trying to force into the streak. So this guy slides out. I've got a deep comeback route, leaving the streak wide open, but his user took away that route, and I actually threw right at his user, got away with one. That should have been intercepted. It should have been intercepted, but I got away with one right there, and he was using cover 3 hard flats as his coverage. So you're going to run into cover 3 when you have the single high safety. So once again, single high safety in this type of situation is either going to be a cover 3 or cover 1 type coverage. So we're going to go ahead and set our defense up correctly, or our offense up correctly, just to try to go and beat it. So I think what it is, I use the whip route and the sail concept once again because this is going to give me a read over here. I've got a 2, I got my 3, and then I've got my 4 based on the coverages. And I think he gets some edge pressure off of me right here, so he does go around the tackle. This guy is outside leverage to the whip, so I know that route is dead. So I'm going to be looking for this area right here. And his user's not really, I'm not really concerned about his user, because I think what his user started to do is he stopped. So I know I can kind of highball the guy over the top of him. And he chases this way, so he's out of position. But I get basically block shedded right there as I'm trying to get rid of the ball. So right progression, right read. I just didn't get the ball off. He got a little block shed against me. So middle of the field open. So basically I got 2 high safeties. So I got to go ahead and have my cover 2, cover 4, cover 6 beaters. In this type of situation, I think I jump into the shark halfback wheel, and I'm going to streak up this guy right here. And that's going to be my first read. And then I've got basically 2, and then I've got 3 is my progressions and reads. And what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the safety to roll out of position. He kind of rolls down, freezing me a little bit. But you can see this guy kind of falling back. This guy's falling back, meaning that if I get past this defender over here, this is going to be wide open. So once again, I throw the ball. You can see this guy slides out. His user is actually a pretty good user. Like he's in position. I get a hard catch right there. Maybe not a good. If I had a little bit less of a tight end, he might drop that pass. But you can see I could get a nice little completion right there and pick up a first down. So he actually jumped into a nickel blitz 3, and I think he was using baseline coverage, because I didn't necessarily see the coverage. It looked like it was just a baseline. So back at it again. He's actually going ahead and he's running a middle of the field open. So unless he's disguising a cover 3 coverage, for the most part, I want to have my cover 2, cover 3 beaters. He pulls his safety in a little bit. One thing I want to point out, this is the 3-3 front, Cub front. So what's unique about this particular front is that there is a version of this. Is a cover 3 show 4, or it's a cover 4 show 2 that you got to be conscious of. So whenever I see this front and I've got downs to work with, I'm going to run the ball primarily because I want to see if he's going to give me the cover 4. That way I have to go into some type of a cover 4 beater against my opponent if he shows me that. So this is a cover 4 show 2. A lot of people run that type of a coverage opposed to the cover 2 shell. So you have to take that in consideration when you're actually running your defense against your opponent. So once again, let's see here. He's got the guy slightly shaded on the inside. This guy, I think, is on the outside. I've jumped into my next art real quick. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and jump into shark, or do the RPO. Once again, I wanted to see if this guy likes to spam the cover 4 shell. He shoots the gap. I try to cut it back, and he actually gets a nice little gap shoot right there. But he is running cover 4 show 2. So whenever I see that alignment, I know it's going to be cover 4. So I have that in my bank going into the next couple of series, because he doesn't run any kind of cover 2. Now he actually jumps into basically a cover 3 shell or a cover 1 shell, because the middle of the field is closed now. So that's what I'm looking at. I want to go ahead and make sure that I have the appropriate play set up. He's using his one guy, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into this particular play with the anticipation this might actually be zone coverage, because he hasn't shown a lot of cover 1 coverage. He's shown me a lot of zone coverages. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and run this concept, and basically my first read is going to be the streak, my second read is going to be this wheel route right here, and then my third is going to be right here, and then I'll come back around to the deep post if it opens up for me. Snap the ball real quick. This guy carries. This guy carries. He's taking away this slant. This guy's going to pull this defender out, and I'm just going to go and check it down to the running back. And you can see I make the right progression, pick up a first down, and then some bonus yards right there. Get a first, get a 10-yard gainer on that particular play. So I'll take that. I actually jumped into like an invert cover 2, but you can see because I was stressing out the zones, there's nothing to do about it. Right here, back at basically middle of the field, field closed in this type of situation. And I think, let's see what I did with this. I think I go back to the streak route once again to just see if I can go and hit that. and I almost throw another interception in this type of situation. I'm looking at Watkins. He pulls out. This guy comes out. This guy comes out. This is wide open, but look what he does as the user. He slides out, tries to bait me, and almost intercepts me. That was, I almost got picked off. And the problem is that I don't have a progression underneath it, a fast progression. I try to rifle that ball in there. He almost picked me off, but I'm able to go and get away with it, with one right there. So back at it again. He's got the middle of the field is closed, so it's either some type of a cover 1 or cover 3. So he's using this guy, so that seam route is most likely going to be taken away. So I'm going to jump into a different play, which is this play action deep outs. And what this does is it basically goes ahead and focuses my attack over here on the left side of the field that I'm looking to. So let's just show you the in-play art. So this is going to be my first read, then my second, and my third, and then maybe the fourth over the top. I could potentially streak this guy up just to go ahead and open up the top of the coverage, but because I'm inside the 40-yard line, this post route's never going to get across the middle of the field. So I'm going to watch this defender. I'm going to watch to see if any guy slides out. Most of the time, this guy's a defender is going to be an island by himself, and he's not going to be able to do anything with A.J. Brown. And you can see this is wide open for an easy completion, and I've taken his user out of the play because I'm actually attacking the sidelines opposed to previously where it wasn't doing that. So back to the hard flats. This guy played cover 3, cover 2. I think this is an invert coverage. Once again, it just kind of had a funky look to it. And if I don't like the look, and I've got the downs as a first down or it's a first down or second down, I'm going to run the ball just to see what he likes to run. Because a lot of players don't just play random defenses. They usually play specific defenses and try to build their coverages around that. He actually jumped into cover 9, cover 9 show 2, which is something you don't normally see online, but that threw me off a little bit. I didn't like the read. So right here, take a look at this guy. This guy is on outside leverage. All right, so once again, we're going to go back to this. It is middle of the field is closed. I've got a single high safety. That means I can't throw that post. But look at this guy. This guy's slightly off my line, meaning this is most likely going to be some type of a cover 3 coverage, what I'm expecting. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and dial up a cover 3 beater against my opponent. I think I go into switch in this type of situation. Or what did I do in here? Yeah, I go into switch. Okay, so here's my read. I'm going to watch this defender right here. This guy should fall back into a deep zone, and this defender should slide out this way, leaving this as an open window to go and throw the ball against. And then I've also got a streak, I've got a wheel, and then I've got basically an option route by a block and release option route by the running backs. But watch what happens. I'm going to throw the ball really quick. He's going to the 3 side. That's where he's actually focusing his attention. I've got the check down wheel that I can hit 2, and I think he actually chases that. But you can see, look at this guy's flat-footed. He's up. I throw the ball right there. The ball, this route kind of comes up, straightens out, and then comes back again. So it just takes, I like to get rid of the ball quick. I don't like to hold on to it. So you can see I can get the ball right there, but I get it down to the 3-yard line because he was in a cover 3 seam, and I read that correctly. So that's what's cool about this way this play is set up. So right here we've got, I think, 2 high safeties in this type of situation. He's got this guy lined up, and then I've got basically a route here and all this kind of stuff. Probably the best way to run this particular play is to actually put this guy into a whip route that gives you another option on the other side of the field. But I'm looking completely too off to the right. Switch concept usually gets these defenders out of position because of the rub. But I go ahead and look underneath. The running back is just not covered in this type of situation. And I'm able to go ahead and get a nice little touchdown against my opponent. So guys, this essentially is going to be just like a variation of how I run my offense online. Not necessarily, the best offenses out there, but it's an efficient offense, and this is how I read my coverages and stuff like that. And it also teaches you if someone can read your coverages and stuff like that, what you need to do is be a couple steps ahead, so you can actually show your opponent a certain read and just see if they actually make the right decisions on the coverages, and then you can go ahead and use this guy's coverages against them. So once again, guys, thank you for your support. If you do like this stuff, go ahead. go ahead and put some type of a comment in the description, FTA. Hey, I watched your video, I picked up some tips from it and stuff like that. So thank you for your support, guys. Until next time.